Let me tell you a secret. I'm not a superhuman. And like a lot of you guys, when I hear anyone say I should start a brand new habit, the first thing that comes to my mind is, I don't have time. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the one habit that you can start today to 10x your potential to build habits in the future. If you're looking to improve your life and increase your mental capacity, watch through this whole video. The habit I'm talking about is, of course, waking up early. And notice how I didn't say going to bed earlier or fixing my sleep schedule or getting more sleep as the habit. The reason isn't because all of that stuff isn't important, but you have to master waking up early first. If I'm used to always sleeping in, I won't be able to naturally just start falling asleep earlier. It's going to take some time to suck up that horrible feeling in the morning of waking up really early, and then I promise you, you will start to feel tired earlier at night as well. Jocko Willink shared his thoughts on this when he was asked on the Shetty Podcast what his thoughts were for the number one thing that people can start doing to build discipline.
Jocko, let's say someone just doesn't know how to build discipline, right? Like, I feel like it's a muscle, it's a skill, it's a habit like anything else. How does someone start building discipline? Like, what are the building blocks from a practical standpoint of discipline?
I've got my recommendation that absolutely nobody wants to hear.
I want to hear it.
The recommendation is start getting up a little bit earlier in the morning and start going to bed earlier at night. So we start getting, and the reason I say get up in the morning earlier first, because you can't just decide you're going to fall asleep earlier, right? You'll lay in bed, with your mind racing because you're not tired because you slept in. So wake up a little bit earlier in the morning and take 15 minutes, take a half an hour, do some physical exercise, do something that you would normally have to do during the workday or when you got home from work so you can spend more time with your family. Just start getting up 20 minutes, a half an hour earlier than you normally do. Over time, if you keep kind of pushing that, you can end up waking up an hour earlier than you normally would. And that gives you time to get some workout, gives you some time to go for a run, gives you some time to spend a little bit of extra time with your family in the morning before you have to go to work. There are so many benefits to it. And what do you lose on the other end? At nighttime, instead of looking at social media for an extra hour, you'll be asleep. And it's a beneficial thing.
You can see how this directly ties with building habits in the future because it automatically adds time to your day. And again, this isn't some natural ability that some people have. It is a skill that people have to master over time. While it is true that some people's circadian rhythms are shorter, which makes them a morning person, anybody who wants to can master the habit of waking up early. Now, I would like to share 7 practical tips that you can start using today to start waking up earlier. The first tip that Jocko shared that I would like to echo is that you need to start doing exercise as soon as you wake up. I personally go to the gym as soon as I wake up so I can turn on my mind and feel fresh for the rest of my day. This also helps pump oxygen into your blood, which is really important for tasks that require a lot of mental strength later on in the day. The second tip that I would like to share is set multiple alarms. Now, I know many of you guys have heard all over the internet that the number one tip for waking up earlier is set an alarm that is far away from you so that you have to wake up to go get it. Well, I've heard the excuse so many times that, oh, well, my alarm just doesn't wake me up. If you're the type of person that is a deep sleeper and one alarm just won't wake you up, then feel free to set multiple alarms, 2, maybe even 3 or 4, and set them all across your room. And trust me, you will never have the excuse that your alarm didn't wake you up. The third tip that I would like to share is make sure you set everything out the night before for your morning routine. I personally like to sleep in my workout clothes, and I know a lot of you guys might think that that's super weird, but it's just what works for me so that I don't even have to get changed in the morning. I just get up, grab my gym bag, grab my keys, and go to the gym. If you can't do that, at the very least, set out your clothes the night before to make it really easy for you to know what you have to do as soon as you wake up. This ties in with the third law of starting a habit, which is making it easy. And the fourth tip that I would like to share with you guys might sound a little strange, but it is actually turning your mind off as soon as you wake up. The point of this is to do what you said you were going to do without even thinking about it. If you start to think, your mind is going to start to negotiate with you and say, well, maybe I need a little more sleep, maybe I'm not well rested enough, and all of those things can lead you to trip up and go back to bed. This can be extremely difficult, but over time, you're going to see that if you just do everything in the morning without even thinking, all of these things will eventually become second nature. The fifth tip that I would like to share is more of a hack, and it does take a little bit of a setup, but that is set a lamp that turns on 30 minutes before your alarm goes off. I use this tip and it helped me tremendously, especially with that disgusting feeling of being dead asleep and then all of a sudden being waken up by your alarm. This slowly wakes up your body because your body is responding to the light. And the science behind this is actually pretty cool. Normally, before the alarm clock was ever invented, humans would just naturally wake up whenever the sun would come up. And even on cloudy days, the sun does get through the clouds, which will get in your eyes and is what would naturally wake people up. A lot of people suggest getting sunlight as soon as you wake up. However, if you're trying to start an early morning routine like myself, that isn't really possible because sunrise isn't till a couple hours after I wake up. That's why I suggest a lamp that produces a warm orangish light as the perfect replacement for sunrise in the morning until the sun does eventually rise, and then I would definitely suggest that you get some sunlight in your system as soon as you can. The sixth tip that I would like to share with you guys is change your mindset the night before. Do not let a single thought of sleeping in even enter your mind. Constantly keep reminding yourself that you are going to wake up. Become that person that always wakes up early and prove to yourself that you can do it. This is a little hack of tricking myself into thinking that tomorrow is the very first day I'm going to start waking up early. Basically, every single night when I go to sleep, I say, okay, tomorrow is the first day that I'm starting this waking up early routine. I tell myself that before I go to sleep because I know that normally people will not fail on brand new routines on the first day. So if I tell myself every single night that the next day is the first day that I'm doing it, it naturally pushes me to want to do it. And I know you might be thinking, well, that sounds stupid. I would never fall for that. But if you repeat it over and over enough, it does actually help you out. And the seventh and final tip that I would like to share with you guys is the most important tip that you could possibly find on the internet on how to wake up earlier, which is finding an accountability partner. My suggestion would be to find someone who can actually go to the gym with you in the morning, or at least do your morning routine with you in the morning. And I would also suggest do not pick someone that is quote unquote your best friend, because that is someone that you are relatively comfortable with and you will feel more comfortable bailing on them in the morning. I've had so many instances where I tried to use an accountability partner that was my best friend or maybe even a relative, and you just feel too comfortable with that person that you don't feel any shame bailing on them. I would suggest picking someone that you do know pretty well, but you also respect. I personally use an accountability partner here at college who is older than me and I really respect. And that helps me get out of bed early in the mornings because I know that I respect his time as much as mine. I would also add the tip of carpooling to the gym if you are going to the gym first thing in the morning, because that adds one more layer of responsibility and something that you have to do. These are the 7 tips that I started using to wake up at 5:30 every morning, and you can do it too. The specific time isn't as important as the principle, but like Jocko talked about in the video, make sure that you're waking up a little earlier every single day. So whatever time you normally wake up at, wake up just that little bit earlier and keep pushing it back until you have gained maybe even hours to your morning. That's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that if you guys implement these tips, you can start waking up earlier too. And trust me, that will open up the doors for endless possibilities of new habits and things to start doing because of all the time you have in your day. If you enjoyed anything at all in today's video, consider subscribing, leaving a thumbs up, and a comment down below. You've got what it takes, but it'll take everything you've got.